Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Jack Catterall defeats Regis Prograis on a deserved unanimous decision. And he picked up the WBO super lightweight international title or something. The point is that he's been promised a world title shot as his next fight. And you can't say he doesn't deserve it. I mean, he should have been the undisputed champ because of that robbery against Josh Taylor in the first fight. One of the worst decisions, I've ever seen. But Jack is now 30 wins, one defeat, in inverted commas. 13 wins by stoppage, should be undefeated, should have been a unified champ. But you know what? Since that robbery, and that was back in February of 22, he's won 4 fights. Dara Foley, unanimous decision over 10. Jose Linares, all right, way past his best. But he had 12 good rounds with what Prograis was an extremely good fighter, retired afterwards. Then he got revenge over Taylor to move to, should have been 2-0, but at least some sort of justice was served. And now he's beaten Prograis, a 2-time super lightweight champ. I mean, Prograis, he slipped to 29 wins with 3 defeats. And all 3 of his defeats are on points, and they're hard-fought defeats. He got completely whitewashed by Devin Haney in his last fight. All right, 120, 107 on 3 cards. This fight was different. Against Haney, he was on the floor once, Prograis was. Against Catterall, he was on the floor twice in the 9th round. But he also scored a knockdown, a sort of flash knockdown in the 5th round where Jack, he was caught with a jab, which sort of caught him on the neck, and he put his glove on the floor, on the canvas. And, of course, that was a legitimate knockdown. It was only a flash knockdown. The referee quite rightly counted it. And that was in the 5th round. But then in the 9th round, Jack took over, 2 knockdowns. Both these guys, by the way, southpaws. Both knockdowns for Jack came from the backhand, which was, if you're a southpaw, is the left hand. And by the way, the first half of that 9th round, Regis was doing quite well. But he got floored by the straight backhand, power punch. Put him over, put him actually on his back, got up, he had some quite severe abrasions on his right eye, and I think there was a slight nick on the eye as well. But then he was put over again from what looked like a sort of backhand hook, a weird sort of, more of a looping punch this time round that made Regis touch down again. So he had that 10-7 round in the 9th, and from there, Jack Catterall just never let up. Now, to start with, this fight, the first 2-3 rounds, you were thinking, God, this is boring. Catterall, very, very crafty, very patient, on the back foot, but by no means running, trying to draw Regis in. Regis trying to find the range, lots of little stutter steps. He'd do 1, 2, 3, 4, like half steps to try and close the range, but Catterall keeping him almost like keeping him on the end of those little, those practice balls you get where you attach it to your head, it's on a piece of elastic and you sort of work it. It's almost like that. That's the image I had in my mind when I was watching Jack with Regis. He was trying to keep him at bay and just make sure he kept him on the end of the jab. And his single jabs, Jack, they were hard jabs. They were power jabs. They were not, they weren't touch me, just sort of touch him jabs. He was actually making Regis pay when he came in. Now, in the 4th round, well, maybe second half of the 3rd round, 4th round, Regis started to come good. He was doing all right. I thought he was edging forward, and he began to sort of manhandle Catterall a bit more, get a bit more physical, have a little bit more success, and you thought, okay, this is a 12-rounder. And then when he scored the flash knockdown, even though it was a flash knockdown and Jack wasn't hurt, I don't know, at some point in the fight there was a sort of, the heads came together and there was a cut on Catterall's, sort of on the scalp part of Catterall's, just at the top of Catterall's head here. And that was bleeding a bit, but it wasn't major. But you did feel after 5 rounds, Regis Prograis is coming into this, and all the experience that he's got is perhaps coming to fruition here. But like I say, those middle rounds were so important because there was a sort of nip and tuck where you didn't really know who was going to win. Very, very close. I thought Catterall was perhaps edging the middle rounds with just a little bit more precision. and Regis's work was maybe a little bit scrappier, which is not to say he wasn't having some success, because he was, but I thought Jack was just about able to sort of nick the rounds. They were very, I mean, if you said to me you thought Regis won a couple of the middle rounds, I'm not really going to object to that statement, because a lot of these rounds were tight. But then you had the 9th round where Catterall scored those 2 knockdowns, and they were serious knockdowns. I mean, the first one put Regis on his back. The second one had him touching down, and it wasn't. In fact, as he was going down, Catterall hit him again. I mean, Regis Prograis is a tough guy, very, very tough guy. He's been over here before, of course, losing to Josh Taylor in that terrific fight, which could have gone either way. I mean, you certainly have made a case for Regis Prograis winning that fight. They gave it to Taylor. It was a very, very close fight. He's a classy act, Regis Prograis, definitely. Was it the last round? I think he might have rolled his ankle. He said his knee was hurting afterwards, but he also said he damaged his ankle, and it looked it as well, because he was struggling a bit to put any kind of weight on it. And Catterall was coming forward, getting the better of him, and you just thought, clearly Regis needs a knockout in the last round. He ain't going to get it, and he didn't. The scores were 117, 108, I think, because you had 2 knockdowns in favour of Jack, 1 in favour of Regis. 117, 108. I think there was a 116, 108 or 116, 107 in there, somewhere along those lines. I had it 116, 109, I think, which may have been the same as one of the judges. I can't remember offhand. I've just watched the fight, actually. But a very good win for Jack Catterall. He does deserve a world title shot. Regis afterwards was sort of saying, well, I might pack it in. He's 35 now. He's been a 2-time world champ. I hope he's kept hold of his money. He's been a credit to the sport. Good fighter, very, very good fighter. Ducked no one, fought everyone who he possibly could. Taken his lumps like a man and picked up some excellent victories as well. He was a very, very good fighter. He is a very, very good fighter. And he's not shot. I mean, he could carry on if he wants to, but I think he's sort of aware. He said afterwards, I can't really do 12 rounds anymore. I don't think I've got it in me to do the full 12 anymore, which is fair enough. And if you recognise that, it's time to step away. Why not go out at the top? Why be food for someone else, for some young up-and-comer? As for Jack, 4 years younger at 31, he's some people say he's not the most exciting of fighters. I mean, he isn't really, but he's very, very good at what he does. Very good. And when he decides to go on the front foot, he can be quite aggressive. I think this is overlooked. He was against Taylor in both their fights. Don't forget, he had Taylor on the floor, Josh Taylor on the floor in the first fight. People forget that. But he's a very, very effective southpaw. And you're talking, in the 140 division, you're talking Teofimo Lopez, Haney's still around, Jose Ramirez, don't forget about him, Liam Paro beat Subriel Mateus. Who am I missing out? There's a couple I can't remember offhand, but these are all good matchups, good fights. So I think Catterall, if you can drag one of or lure in that sort of siren-like way, one of the champs over here, wouldn't it be great to see Teofimo Lopez fight Jack Catterall in, where's he from? He's from Lancashire, in Chorley he's from. Stick him on, I don't know, the Chorley Leisure Centre or something. But no, I wish Catterall all the best, because he should have been undisputed champ before. It's a scandalous decision a couple of years ago. But anyway, it is what it is. Anyway, what did you think of this fight? I thought it was a slow burner. I was thinking for the first couple of rounds, God, this is boring. This is going to be a wide points decision for Catterall, and it's getting a dull fight. It actually did warm up into a good fight. But let me know what you think. Let me know what your feelings are, your opinions. And yeah, thank you very much for subscribing, for listening. Hit the like button if you like the video, please, because it costs you nothing and it helps us out. And if you're a new subscriber, thank you for clicking that subscribe button. Do appreciate it. Much love to all of you. I hope you all have a nice Sunday, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye for now.